Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome, dear devotees. We are reading Canto 2, Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter number 2. The title is The Lord in the Heart. And our today's discussion, we are starting from text number 33. I will recite Sanskrit. Padma Mataji, you have it open, English translation, if you can do for me. All right. न ह्यतोऽन्यः शिवः पन्था विशतः संसृतावये वासुदेवे भगवती भक्ति योगो यतो भवेत्.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Hari Bol. For those who are wandering in the material world, material universe, there is no more auspicious means of deliverance than what is aimed at in the direct devotional service of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. For those who are wandering in the material universe, there is no more auspicious means. Let's understand in the context why this verse is being said. What is the context? We see beginning from this chapter that karma kandis, the karmis, they were mentioned. Previous chapter, we see that how when Sukadeva Gosvami started answering Parikshit Maharaj's questions, he first of all glorified question, but then he immediately come to the point that Shravanam, hearing and chanting, Shravanam and Kirtanam is the topmost for everyone. But there were other sages present, so he talks about Ashtanga Yoga. But then he comes back again that Bhakti Yoga is topmost. Then he mentions about Virat Rupa meditation. And then the end of the first chapter, 38 and 39th verse, he comes back that Shravanam is the best, Bhakti Yoga is the best, devotional service is the best. Then beginning from the second chapter, which is what we are discussing now, is he talks about karma kandis, those who are karmis, karma hi puja hai, us type ke logo ke liye. He mentions that what's the point of doing good karma? The result is you will go to the heavenly planets, but that is temporary and you have to come back. So better do hearing and chanting. So different ways he comes back. And then previous theme, what we were discussing, is about two types of liberation. One is direct liberation. We saw the Satchakra yoga system where the yogis lifts their pran vayu, the air, life air, from the 7 energy centers of the body and then leaves the body from the cerebral hole and reaches directly, go back to Godhead when that type of meditator has no personal desire. So that is a direct liberation. And then the previous verses or yesterday what we saw was an indirect, gradual liberation, krama mukti, which is for attached yogis, which is for neophytes, because they don't directly go back to Godhead. What they do, when they leave, they go to the Vaishwanar planet, then they go to the Sishumar planet, then Maharloka, where Bhrigumuni is there, long lifetime, then Milky Way traveling, then Brahmaloka, then going to Satyaloka, and then once he is free, then he will go. So again, at the end of all this journey, he is mentioning. Now, if you see in context with that, Sukadeva Goswami is coming to the point. But for those who are wandering in this material universe, there is no more auspicious means of deliverance. Then, what is it? Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yogo Yato Bhavet. The devotional service to Lord Shri Krishna is the topmost. There is no more. Usse zyada aur koi auspicious hai nahi. Direct devotional service to Krishna. So it gives us that that confidence that the path what we are in this bhakti yoga or the devotional service which is shown to us by acharyas, by Srila Prabhupada, how great that is. Sukadeva Goswami here summarizing again with this path of gradual liberation and the dialectic liberation. Sukadeva Goswami is summarizing, making it clear that this sadhana bhakti, what we are doing or what is mentioned about hearing and chanting, it is the best of all path. There is no more auspicious means than this one. That is what mentioned. Prabhupada explains in the purport that there are many other processes. Yes, there are many other processes, but none of them is as easy, as auspicious as Bhakti Yoga. उसकी कंपैरिजन में कोई नहीं आएगा. Bhakti Yoga is the easiest and most auspicious. Yes, there are other processes, but Prabhupada is saying everything else is a simply waste of time for the performer. कैसी लाइन लिखता है देखो, simply everything else simply a waste of time for the performer. Why? Because we are in Kaliyuga. We are not in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. Abhi Kaliyuga mein people's lives are short, people's intelligence, manda-bhāgyā, manda-bhāgyā, upadrutāḥ. लोगों का meditation or the dhyan nahi lag sakta. People's mind is very chanchal. There are so much lucrative, attractive things in the Kali Yuga. So people can't do this Dhyan Yoga. So that's why Prabhupada is writing everything else is simply a waste of time for the performer. And then he confirms Sridhar Swami and all other acharyas like Jiva Goswami and all the acharyas, they agree that Bhakti Yoga is not only easy, Bhakti Yoga is not only easy, simple and natural. Bhakti Yoga is definitely very easy, very simple, very natural. But on top of that, it's free from all trouble. And this process of Bhakti Yoga is only source of happiness for human being. Everyone wants to be happy in this world. And Prabhupada writes here that this Bhakti Yoga process is the only way a human being can be happy in this world. People, here it is a Bhagavatam is showing the way to become, how to become happy, how to live a happy life. But people have made themselves busy in so many things, getting more fame, getting more money, becoming rich, and people are in a rat race to get more material advancement and to get more money. But money, in that rat race, people are getting anxiety, stress, frustration. And how many people can say that I am completely happy, I am 100% happy just because I have more money? How many people can say that? So it is said people are in a rat race to get more fame, more money, more richness. But even if you win in this rat race, you will still become a rat. You are still a rat in the rat race, even if you become, because that is not going to give the happiness. Here, Prabhupada said this Bhakti Yoga, or Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning, this Bhakti Yoga or devotional service is the only source of happiness for this. This Bhagavatam is teaching us, this ABCD, Patri Prabhu was mentioning that aim, behavior, character, and discipline. A, B, C, D. Aim, behavior, character, and discipline. That gives our personal happiness. That gives our satisfaction and success in our personal life. Why? Because aim is direction. We need to have an aim, is a direction. B, behavior is an action. What we do, our behavior is an action. C, character is the foundation. And D for discipline. Discipline acts as a bridge between aim and achievement. Let's take one by one. Aim means, we need to have aim, that is a direction. अगर सोचो आप हम फ्लाइट में जा रहे हैं कहीं, मेलबर्न से इंडिया जा रहे हैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया से, और अगर फ्लाइट पायलट अनाउंसेस, congratulations to all the passengers, we have just broken the world record, we are the fastest plane carrying passengers, commercial flight, we are the fastest plane in the whole world, we have just done the Guinness Book of Record, and everyone will clap, yay, yay, cheering up, fastest world record. And not only that, the pilot announces, we have broken another record. We have achieved the highest altitude of any passenger carrying plane has ever achieved. हम सबसे ऊपर जा रहे हैं, सबसे तेज आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. And everyone is saying, clapping, yay, very good, excellent, happy. But the pilot announces, we don't know where we are going. मुझे पता नहीं फ्लाइट कहाँ जा रहा है, what direction it is going. And then, do you think people will cheer? So that's why in this ABCD, the aim, the direction is very important. People teji se aage badh rahe hai. People are making money. People want to lead their life very fast, very high. But in what direction? कहाँ पे जाना है वही पता नहीं. So that's why this aim is very important. Second is behavior. Is the action taken. वहाँ पे जाने के लिए, to achieve that aim, there is some action, and that is our behavior. Our behavior should be pakka. Third is character. On what basis we will take that action is the character. Character is our foundation, inner foundation. If we have a good character, we'll make sure our behavior is good and we will achieve that aim. Agar character bhi nahi hoga, behavior nahi hoga, aim bhi nahi milega, and we will end up somewhere. And the last one is discipline. Discipline acts as a bridge between the aim and the achievement. Goal hota hai, and then achievement of the goal. So there is the aim and the achievement of the aim. In between, what is the bridge is a discipline. When a person acts as a discipline. And that is what makes a human being happy. That is what a success formula is, ABCD. And that we learn from Bhagavatam. From outside material world, what we learn? Unfortunately, the schooling system here, the education system, all they teach is how to make money, how to have good career, how to have a good um, uh, material life. But how to be a nice human being, वो कोई स्कूल में कोई कॉलेज में कहीं नहीं सिखाते. But Bhagavatam is teaching that, and that is why Prabhupada is writing in the purport. It is the Bhagavatam will teach. This is the only source. Devotional service, Bhakti Yoga is the only source for human being to become happy. Otherwise, no chance. So that's why, in connection with this, the whole theme, if you read this translation, it's such an amazing way Prabhupada is explaining. Text number 34, Anirvind Prabhu.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम. हरे कृष्णा डियर डिवोटीज, धन्यवाद प्रणाम. श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. भगवान ब्रह्म कात्स्नेयन् त्रिरनवीक्ष्य मनीषया तदध्यवस्यत कूटस्थो रतिरात्मन यतो भवेत्.
Translation. Hare Krishna everyone. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The great personality Brahma, with great attention and concentration of the mind, studied the Vedas 3 times, and after scrutinizingly examining them, he ascertained that attraction for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, is the highest perfection of religion. Thank you, Prabhuji.
This path of attraction to Krishna, this path of devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, is the highest, topmost. कौन बोल रहा है ये? Even it is confirmed by Brahma. And here it is mentioned, Sukadeva Gosvami is speaking. He says, this path which leads to the attraction for the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is the highest, which is confirmed by Brahma. Brahma scrutinizingly studied the Vedas 3 times. It is mentioned, in the translation as well as the purport. Prabhupada mentions that Brahma received this knowledge of Vedas directly from Lord Shri Krishna. Brahmaji received directly from Lord Shri Krishna. Even after that, just as a system of a learned scholar, Brahmaji studied the whole Vedas with full attention, with full concentration 3 times. And then he confirms, yes, this Bhakti Yoga or the Sadhana Bhakti, what we are doing is the topmost. अब देखो, what we are trying is not something, चलो बहुत सारे अलग अलग path for God realization is there, and then we are just following one path. Look at this here. It is confirmed by Brahma. Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning this to Parikshit Maharaj, but on the same side, he is mentioning this to all the sages who have assembled there on the bank of the river Ganges, and he is mentioning to us as well. Even Lord Shri Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, at the end he mentions, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Surrender to Lord is the highest. Here Brahma ji, after studying Vedas 3 times, हम तो एक verse भी 3 times अच्छे से पढ़ नहीं सकते. Yesterday we put a poll. There are almost 100 members. Only 15 votes were there that we read one purport. यहाँ पे Brahma ji is reading 3 times the full Vedas and then confirms, yes, this Bhakti Yoga is topmost, and that is what we are in. How much confidence we get? Radhika Mataji, 35.
Hare Krishna everyone, and pranam to all. If Pankaj Prabhu wants to read the translation. Bhagavan sarva bhuteshu lakshita swatmana hari drishyar buddhi adibhir drishta lakshaner anumapakay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna everyone, Dhanat Pranam. This Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is in every living being along with the individual soul. And this fact is perceived and hypothesized in our acts of seeing and taking help from the intelligence.
So here, Shravanam or Kirtanam ke baare mein bataya Sukadeva Goswami ne. He mentioned about Bhakti Yoga, doing devotional service to Lord. But common argument what people make is we do not see God. कोई भगवान को देख नहीं सकते यहाँ पे लोग, तो बोलते हैं कि if we can't see God, we don't believe in God, and then how can we surrender to that Lord? How can we do devotional service for that Lord? Because we can't see Lord, and that's why people are not able to do that. So Sukadeva Goswami, you see very systematically the flow, if you see the connection, that he's mentioning about Shravanam and Kirtanam, and then he's backing up. Even Lord Brahma has confirmed that after studying Vedas. But the common argument people will make that we can't see God, and that's why how can we do Shravanam about God, or how can we do devotional service to God? You have spoken so much about the surrender to the Lord and do bhakti to the Lord, but nahi dekh sakte wo log, to kaise karenge? So now if you read the translation, the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is in every living being along with the individual soul. And in this fact, ये जो fact है, is it's perceived and hypothesized by taking help from the intelligence. अगर कोई बंदा थोड़ा भी इंटेलिजेंस यूज करेगा तो उसको पता चलेगा कि yes, we can't see Lord, but the existence of Lord is there. Just by taking perceived and hypothesized in by seeing and taking help from intelligence. Person should, thoda intelligence lagana padega. Dikhta nahi hai, yes, I agree, but we have to apply our brain. And Prabhupada explains wo intelligence kaise use karne ka. Prabhupada writes in the purport, itna must, those who love science, they will love this purport. No blind belief, no andhashraddha, pura scientific presentations. This is what Prabhupada was giving to the scientists of the whole world. Imagine an old man, 70-year-old man from Vrindavan, and coming to America and presenting to the big scientists of America, London, and everywhere, all around the world he was going. And this purport, if you read, this is what Prabhupada was presenting. What he was writing, Prabhupada समझाते हैं. We say, this is my finger. Bhakti Vriksha में हम सब ने किया है ये. This is my finger. We say this is my hand. People say this is my eyes or my ears. That when I say this is my shawl, that means me and this shawl are different. I am not the shawl. I say my shawl, that means this shawl belongs to me. In the same way, when we say my finger, that means this finger belongs to me. I am not this finger. When we say my hand, that means I am not this hand. This hand belongs to me. When I say my ears, that means these ears belong to me. When I say my body, it belongs to me. Then who is that me? Prabhupada explains this in this. When we say my body, nobody says I body. I body. कोई नहीं बोलता. Everyone says my finger, my hand, my body, my head, my ears. That means who is that me? And Prabhupada said just little intelligence if we apply, then we can understand that we are different from the body. And that is the soul. And here it is said, every living entity is being along with the individual soul. So we are this soul. We are different from the body. That little intelligence needs to be applied. And Prabhupada explains, and big scientists, Prabhupada ऐसे ही बोलते थे. This is what he used to say. You tell me, dear scientist, you tell me, do our eyes see or we see through our eyes? हमारी आंखें देखती है कि हम आंखों के द्वारा देखते हैं? Our ears hear or we hear through our ears? And that is what Prabhupada's argument was. And people say, yes, we see through our eyes. Then Prabhupada says, we are not this eyes, we are not these ears, we are not this body, then who we are? Prabhupada, in the big universities, they used to take them a tour and, यहाँ पे medical department है, यहाँ पे ये है. Prabhupada said, where is the department which teaches about the soul? Where is the department which teaches us the real existence of our real individual, who we are? वो कहाँ पे है? What is the point of having so many different departments and the missing the most important, that we are the spirit soul? So this is what, thoda intelligence लगाएंगे, then we understand that we are the soul, the living entity is separate from matter. And then Prabhupada explains scientifically again that living entity cannot be created by matter. What science says, Big Bang hua, and then there was a very hot planet and water hua, and then one single cell, this living entity came, and then it, by the evolution process of the Darwin's theory, this whole living entities has come. Prabhupada says, living entity cannot come from matter. No scientific experiment can do that. It's an idle talk, but scientists cannot create living matter. से मैटर होता है. लिविंग एंटिटी कैनॉट कम आउट ऑफ मैटर. ऐसा कोई केमिकल कॉम्बिनेशन ऐसा कुछ हो गया कि लिविंग एंटिटी केम. इट्स जस्ट नॉट पॉसिबल. वी डोंट सी प्रैक्टिकली इन दिस वर्ल्ड कि living entity comes of matter. And that's how we can understand that there is a supreme creator who has created these material universes, who has created these living entities. And that information we get from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning here to Parikshit Maharaj, थोड़ा भी intelligence लगाएंगे तो हमें पता चलेगा कि there is a creator. There is a creator who has created these material things as well as living entity. And that information, out of inquisitiveness to know more, who is that creator, we read the scriptures. And जब scriptures में जाएंगे और we hear, and that's why we are engaging in Shravanam and Kirtanam. इसीलिए, people are advised to get information from the scriptures, or especially in our life, we have the guidelines to go to the Bhakti Vriksha, to any systematic study program. कई बार सुन लेते हैं YouTube में, this is all okay, but there has to be a systematic study, and that's why Bhakti Vrikshas and this program, the regular association of devotees, is recommended. Was I able to explain Prabhupada? आप समझ रहे हो क्या? एक कितना सिंपल, कई लोग डिवोशनल सर्विस नहीं कर सकते. हियरिंग एंड श्रवणम, सुखदेव गोस्वामी ने बोला कि श्रवणम कीर्तनम करना चाहिए, लेकिन भगवान दिखते नहीं है. कॉमन आर्ग्यूमेंट इज, एंड देन हाउ कैन वी डू डिवोशनल सर्विस? बाय अप्लाइंग इंटेलिजेंस. हाउ कैन वी अप्लाई इंटेलिजेंस? Prabhupada explains in the purport, we are different from the body, and soul is different. And then how the soul comes? Living entity cannot come from matter, and living entity cannot come from matter. That means there is some creator, and to understand that creator, a person needs to go through the scripture study or do Shravanam and Kirtanam. I feel so good, this scientific presentation of Prabhupada. What is this Andhashraddha here? Batao mujhe. If any one of you find this, that ये तो श्रद्धा की बात है, अंधश्रद्धा है, blind belief है, कितना scientific है. Do you all think like that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, nobody wants to think about these things. कोई scientist research भी नहीं होता है, क्योंकि it all is guided by financial. फायदा नहीं होता है ना, तो कोई कंपनी उसमें इन्वेस्ट नहीं करती. But definitely it's so scientific.
Yeah. And people don't like to have someone higher on us. अपने ऊपर कोई बॉस हो और उसके बाद हमें माननी पड़ेगी, किसी को पसंद नहीं आता. Everyone wants to have freedom. That's why we are here, and that's why the scientists do not believe that some higher creator is there, the higher authority is. Otherwise उनकी बात माननी पड़ेगी. उनकी बात मानने से sense gratification बंद करना पड़ेगा. इसीलिए they deny the existence of God. Pooja Mataji, you raised hand.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Prabhu, I was reading Canto 3 with my friend who is expecting a baby, and there was so much detail about how a child is conceived. Like, I could not believe myself that at that time when Srimad Bhagavatam was written, this much detail about, the whole process of child's sizes, even in their womb, would be given. It was just so amazing. So our scriptures pretty much cover all the subjects that exist in this universe. So we must know that that is the ultimate, that is where all the knowledge has come from. So that was very eye-opening for me to read about, so much in detail it is given.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Chalo, 36 and 37 we can do together actually. And then we will discuss, because that's the last one for this chapter. 36, Krishna Prabhu. Anyone else wants to read? Feel free. Please don't. मैं partial नहीं हूँ. मेरा कोई favoritism नहीं है. You can message me or you can raise hand if you want to read 36 and then translation, 37 sloka then translation. Feel free.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Does Ketan Prabhu want to read the translation, please?
And 37, Puja Mataji, you do, and someone can do the translation, and we'll complete the chapter.
तस्मात् सर्वात्मना राजन् हरि सर्वत्र सर्वदा श्रोतव्य कीर्तितव्यश्च स्मार्तव्यो भगवान् ऋणम्.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna devotees, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O King, it is therefore essential that every human being hear about, glorify and remember the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, always and everywhere. Hare Krishna.
And 37.
Hare Krishna, text 37. Pibanti te bhagvanatmana sata krathamritam shravana puteshu samritam punanti te vishaya vidushitashayam vrajanti tascharana Saroruhantikam. Anju Mataji, do you have book with you? That's okay. Padma Mataji, do you want to read the translation for 37?
Hare Krishna. Those who drink through the oral reception, fully filled with the nectarian message of Lord Sri Krishna, the beloved of the devotees, purify the polluted aim of life known as material enjoyment, and thus go back to Godhead, to the lotus feet of Him, the personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. 36. Tasmat sarvat manarajan. Tasmat, that means therefore. Sukadeva Goswami is saying, O king, therefore it is essential for every human being to hear about and glorify and remember Supreme Lord. Tasmat sarvatma rajan. Hari sarvatra sarvada. He is saying, therefore, one must practice this sadhana bhakti. That's why we should do devotional service of this, beginning with Shravanam and Kirtanam, hearing and chanting. Why? Because it is the most essential thing to hear and remember about Lord. Prabhupada writes in the purport that it is recommended, everyone should do this hearing and chanting. This is coming directly answer to Parikshit Maharaj's questions. What is the duty of everyone in all circumstances, and especially what is the duty of a dying man? जो Parikshit Maharaj ने question पूछा था Sukadeva Goswami से, that's it's coming to the point at the end of this chapter. Tasmat sarvaja. Therefore, everyone should do Shravanam and Kirtanam. Everyone should practice this sadhana bhakti, do devotional service. Why? If the Prabhupada explains in the purport, if devotees do not do hearing and chanting of the Lord, then what will they do? Prabhupada writes, they become victim of hearing the rubbish transmitted by man-made machines. Us time pe, when Prabhupada was writing, there was no mobile phones. Internet was just about to begin. And it is said here, phone line B, it was rare to use phone lines. This is what we are talking in 1970s. Prabhupada writes, इतने सालों पहले भी लिखते हैं, if a person is not engaged in hearing this about glories of the Lord, भगवान के बारे में अगर सुनते नहीं हैं, they become victim of hearing the rubbish transmitted by man-made devices. And then Prabhupada writes, explains, machinery is not bad. Machines are not bad because we can utilize machines and for hearing about the Lord. But because these machines, which machines? The mobile phone, the internet, the YouTube and all those things, because these machines are utilized for ulterior purposes, that's why it's creating a rapid degradation in the society. How many of you agree what Prabhupada says here? The machine is not bad, but the machines are utilized to hear the rubbish things by these machines. And that's why this whole rapid degradation of the society is happening. मानते हो कि नहीं? बात प्रभुपाद तो 50 साल पहले लिखते थे, YouTube भी था नहीं. The phone line was just about to begin. And how to communicate? अभी तो एकादशी के मैसेज अपने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में आते हैं. Can you believe in 1970 Prabhupada would have been in San Francisco and London में जन्माष्टमी कब है, एकादशी कब है, कैसे पता करते होंगे? How do they communicate? No emails, no WhatsApp message, no internet. Phone line was very rare. It was expensive and extremely hard to use. If you have used the phone before in olden days, they connect. There is an operator. हम नंबर देते हैं कि हमें इनको कनेक्ट करना है, and there is an operator and they will hold and they call and connect कि भाई इसका फोन है, they connect, do you agree to pay, and they are expensive as well. I have used that. I remember very well. We call to the operator number, he will connect to someone and we talk and फटाफट बात करके रख देने का because it was expensive. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा था in for example, in Australia, the Sydney was the main center. In 1970s की बात है, Sydney was the main center, and all whatever the communication needs to be passed on from America or Mumbai, Prabhupada or like Ekadasi, for example, just Ekadasi is here, is din pe hai. So how did they pass on the message? जैसे ब्रिस्बेन का सेंटर था, the message will come from India to here, and then from Sydney, if they want to pass on the message to Brisbane, how they will do? उन्होंने एक सिस्टम बनाया था. The person will call from Sydney temple to the operator और बोलेगा, my name is Ekadashi and I want to connect to this Brisbane center, this number. So वो operator Brisbane temple को call करेगा And he said, Mr. Ekadashi is calling. Do you accept to take this call and pay the charges? And Brisbane Temple will say, no, no, no. That means उस दिन एकादशी है. Because Mr. Ekadashi is calling. That means उनको पता चल गया कि आज एकादशी का message मिल गया. That's how the machines are good to pass on the message. You know, if you hear these initial pastimes, it's so good how the devotees, they try to save even, you know, $1 or something. And text number 37, it is mentioned that what is the benefit? Those who drink through oral reception. कानों से drink करना होता है. Those who drink through oral reception fully with this nectarian message of Lord Shri Krishna and the beloved of the devotees purify the polluted aim of life known as material enjoyment. जो material enjoyment करना चाहते हैं वो purify हो जाएंगे material desires and go back to Godhead. Sukadeva Gosvami is giving guarantee here. Those who hear, they will go back to Godhead. He is giving guarantee to Parikshit Maharaj. He is giving guarantee to all the sages, and he is giving guarantee to all of us who hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And guarantee is given. Okay, I'm a businessman. We get 5-year warranty, 3-year warranty, guarantee, all these things. Here, eternal life to go back to Godhead at the lotus feet of Krishna. And that's why one should do Shravanam and Kirtanam. What a nice way of ending this chapter, you know, by giving a guarantee to all of us. You know, what is the use of doing, not engaging in the hearing and chanting glories of Lord Shri Krishna? Very beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the second canto, second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled as The Lord in the Heart. So beautiful. All right, so text number 37, we stop. We'll start from new chapter on Monday. Before that, we are meeting on Sunday. Yes, any questions? Someone saying something? No, I heard something.
Thank you, Prabhuji. That was really nice. And in fact, I feel the machines development, of course, has progressed materially, but spiritually to down ही हुआ है, Prabhu. I know we can hear lectures and all those things, but at the same time, people are so much dependent on simple machines that they don't use their intelligence at all. अभी AI ने तो और भी like you know सब ड्रामा करना है अच्छे से. People's intelligence have gone down. Like I used to remember at least 10 phone numbers in my childhood. Now I can't remember even mine sometimes. Like you know, I'm just trying to explain that you know machines have developed in a very rapid way, but at the same time the progress of a person spiritually has decreased a lot. बिकॉज अभी तो बूढ़े लोगों के पास भी टाइम नहीं है, वो भी व्हाट्सएप पे ड्रामा करते रहते हैं, लाइक यू नो सब ड्रामा देखते रहेंगे सारा, लाइक दे डोंट हैव टाइम टू डू एनीथिंग लाइक दिस. एंड फिर उनको बताओ तो बिकॉज यूट्यूब और व्हाट्सएप पे वो डिफरेंट मैसेजेस आते हैं डिवोशनल, उसके भगवत गीता का एक्सप्लेनेशन अपने आप आ रहा होता है विच इज नॉट कमिंग फ्रॉम द सोर्सेज. तो बैड नॉलेज इज कमिंग प्रभु, लाइक यू नो पीपल आर यूटिलाइजिंग इन अ नेगेटिव वे. नेगेटिव में भी बहुत नेगेटिव बिकॉज there is no source and people think oh this is right because अभी पीछे there was a message coming from somewhere that you know like भगवान को भोगा कैसे रखना है, चख कर रखना है. ये कहाँ शास्त्र में लिखा है प्रभु? एंड इट वाज वेरी लाइक यू नो आई वाज आस्क्ड क्वेश्चन अबाउट दिस, भगवान को भोगा तो चख के ही करना है. एंड इट वाज काइंड ऑफ यू नो लाइक हाउ कैन यू लाइक यू नो डिनाई द फैक्ट्स जो कि इतने पुराने चल रहे हैं. नाउ यू आर सेइंग कि भोगा करने के लिए हमें पहले खुद चखना पड़ेगा. इमेजिन प्रभु. How much
Yeah, people don't read scriptures and यहाँ से videos. When we need to take guidance, we take guidance from shastras. What is available on the social media is people's opinions. So it's up to us. We hear this person opinion, or we take directly from Krishna. Devices पूरा dull minded हो गया. कलावश में न्यू एज है ना, मanda-bhāgyā, manda-bhāgyā, upadrutāḥ, पूरा dull. I tell you, मेरी शॉप में एक बन just last day of the school holiday शुरू हुआ, एक स्टूडेंट आए थे उसकी मम्मी के साथ, and there was one item in my shop, they were $10. It had a half price, 50% off sticker. तो वो स्टूडेंट स्कूल यूनिफॉर्म में थी लड़की, वो आके मुझे पूछते हैं हाउ मच इज दिस. आई सेड इट्स $10 बट इट्स ऑन स्पेशल प्राइस फॉर हाफ प्राइस. एंड उसने मुझे पूछा व्हाट इज हाफ ऑफ 10. आई सेड व्हाट ग्रेड यू आर इन. शी वाज इन grade 10. स्कूल यूनिफॉर्म में आई थी, grade 10 में 10 का आधा. एंड बिलीव इट और नॉट, शी पुट आउट हर iPhone 17 फ्रॉम द पॉकेट, 10 डिवाइड बाय 2 और फिर बोलो इज इट $5. मैंने बोला यार तुम ईयर 10 में हो, ग्रेड 10 में हो, और तुम 10 का आधा के लिए भी कैलकुलेटर यूज कर सकते हो. What kind of people, you know? Anyway, anyone else?
Prabhuji, the worst part is that once people start hearing something, listening to something on the mobile phone, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, and then they just pump it. They just pump it, the same thing, same of the same, and more of the same, and same and same. So people get into this vicious cycle that never get out of it, because whenever they open the phone, all these things are there, which they have been hearing. So unless they completely cut off and go in completely different direction, there's no hope, because people, you just have to, like, I've got some experience that somebody asked me to, like old person, 55 plus. And then the phone didn't work. So they asked me to just, can you have a look at this phone and just fix it? And then I just opened, and it shows all the videos they have seen. I just clicked YouTube, and all these all the videos, suggested videos came. I was shocked what they were looking at. So this is this is even worse, because people cannot even use their intelligence now, because they get directed, they're forced into this cycle. So they, unless intentionally they get out of this, like take interest in Bhagavatam. And then the good thing is, once you start reading Bhagavatam, listening to Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, slokas, and all those things, and you start searching them on YouTube, and then you get more of the same. So this is the way. So it works both ways. So thank you, Prabhuji. Just wanted to share that.
Very nice. Yes. What about, old, even 1 year old, 2 year old, they are hooked onto the screens. And then, the whole life they are hooked on it. And people are on the devices, accepting the fact. I remember Radhanath Maharaj, devotees went to Radhanath Maharaj. This is like 20 years, 15 years back, that people are on the devices, but we are against this all social media and everything. So we do Bhagavad Katha and everything. Maharaj instructed devotees that to flood the social media, to flood the YouTube with devotional, because people are on the devices, to flood so many lectures, YouTube shorts and everything, that somehow people, when they are on the devices, they will come across. And genuinely interested people, those who are the ripened fruit, those who are ready, they will hear the message and they will somehow connect with Krishna. And that's why, instead of to be against the devices, Prabhupada is also saying here that we can use the devices, for good hearing, right, correct hearing. And Radhanath Maharaj instructed. That's why if you see Mumbai devotees, they are in social media everywhere. Chopati temple, all these Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, Gaurang Prabhu, Gaur Gopal Prabhu, Radhanath Maharaj media channel. They are everywhere, because we have to flood, because people are on the devices all the time. Patri Prabhu, we are so big, influencers in social media and everywhere, which is required for us. Okay, so we will have one homework for all of you for Sunday. Everyone, please come with pen and paper, or a diary at least. And I want the homework is, from every chapter, you write one learning point. From one chapter, one learning point. We have the summary of Radhika Mataji in our whole group. You can go through, search. One chapter, one learning point. For example, as soon as Parikshit Maharaj heard that he has to die in 7 days, he immediately renounced everything to give the kingdom to his son, and then sat to listen the message from Sukadeva Gosvami. What is the learning point for us is, don't delay, don't postpone, become serious in bhakti today. So that's one line. So don't give lectures, just one liner, because we will have 55 people there. But one line per chapter. So there are 19 chapters, 19 lines we want from everyone. And then during the session, sometimes I will ask to speak, and please bring in your diary. Is it doable? Very simple.
Yes.
Pandavas,
Yes.
thank you. Pandavas
Yes,
retired timely. When they heard Krishna has departed, Pandavas also departed. So what do we learn from that? Is we also plan our retirement. One liner. Okay.
One more thing, Prabhuji,
special,
I want to
yes,
add,
Shiva
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Very, very interesting, because importance of hearing from the correct sources, right sources. Because I went to a relative's place a few days ago, and they mentioned that she had a big argument with her father about the politics effectively, because in Nepal there is a big change happening. Big change. All the generation, all the corrupt politicians, they got massively defeated, and new government has come, youth balansa, and then they're doing amazing things. And she said his father was hearing all these things from the sources of the old politicians, and they were saying, oh, he's not good, he's the agent of the Western world, he will destroy the country. All these things he was hearing constantly. And I said, I was shocked and said, what happened? How did that happen? He said he was listening to all these things, he was. And then once he started listening, and then more and more he was listening more, he did not believe that good things were happening. So this is what it like mind completely like importance of hearing from the right source. Whatever we are hearing, we need to verify the source. Is it right? Is it correct? What else is there? Who else is hearing good things? So again, verify what we're doing and what we're hearing. Otherwise, if we don't check, we could go in completely wrong direction without even knowing.
True. Very, very important. Yes. And कई लोग सुनना चाहते ही नहीं है. If people are not ready to listen, the technique given to us is, give them prasadam and then gives them in seva. If people is argumentative or they are not ready to hear from the correct ones, correct source, bona fide source, we engage them. प्रभु जी ये bucket इधर से उधर रख दो ना, ये साफ कर दो ना, ये प्रसाद सर्व कर दो ना, कुछ ना कुछ we engage them in seva and we give them prasadam. मैंने अच्छा समोसा बनाया है, would you like to take it, gulab jamun? Then the taste for hearing will come later. ठीक है. All right, thank you dear devotees, looking forward to have your darshan on Sunday. We'll miss some of the international audience. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, everyone.
नमिषाण्यं बीच जगह दोबारा से कथा होगी.